Hey, everybody. We are live. Welcome, welcome to Lindy's Treehouse, Paramount, USA. What is going on, everybody? Happy Thankful Thursday. I am so happy to see everybody. We're in the works here. I'm trying to get SHAWN into the studio, and we're having some issues getting SHAWN in the studio. So please have some patience with us. We will get this figured out. We'll get SHAWN in. All this crazy technology going on right now. I'm trying to work with them to get them in the studio. I know I've got Jade helping me. She's helping me out. SHAWN, just so I'm live right now. So SHAWN, just if you want, get in the chat for a minute. I've got JD's gonna help me figure this out, how to get you in the studio, because it won't connect to get them in the studio. So I'm not sure what is going on. Yeah, I'm here, Scooby-Doo. We're trying to get SHAWN into the studio. We're having some issues. I sent him the link and everything. I'm trying to figure out why. We're trying to figure out why it's not letting him in. Not letting him in. I love technology. I get just as confused as everybody else. Scooby-Doo's in the house. Joe Adele's in the house. Bill H is in the house. Scooby-Doo, do you know much about the this StreamYard? I'm trying to get SHAWN in. I sent him 2 different links to get into the studio, and we're having issues. He's having issues trying to get in the studio. His browser and everything's working, but it's not connecting. Do you know why, Scuba? Are you computer thingy, whatever? I have Jade. Jade was telling me what to do with it. So we're kind of waiting. Yeah, he did. He clicked on the link. I sent him the link to allow him in, but when it goes onto the screen, it says it's not connected. But unless, SHAWN, get in the chat, unless he has a firewall blocking it. Oh, I don't know. We'll have SHAWN, as long as make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. Yeah, he's trying to get in, and it keeps saying device is not connected. Scooby-Doo. So we can't figure out why. He's doing everything right. Like I said, I sent him the link, and just click on the link, but it's not letting him in. It's saying device not connected. Hey, Will Fly, what's up, buddy? Welcome. We're just trying to get SHAWN in the studio, and we're having issues trying to get him in. We can't figure out what is going on. SHAWN he'll jump in the chat as long as he's I think if you subscribe to the channel. Well, anybody can get in. That's right. They don't have to be subscribed. They can just you can just jump in the chat if you want, SHAWN. Yeah, it keeps saying device not connected. So we're trying to figure it out. Cowboy, what's up, Cowboy? How are you? Hope you're feeling good. Be patient, peeps. We'll get this figured out. Things happen, you know. We're trying to figure it out. We'll get him in. Oh, wait. I'm seeing something here. Let me see. Add to stage.
Yeah, that's what it is. You had to approve it, I think.
Yeah, because it didn't. Usually it'll say in this, add to stage, but on my part, all it said was not connected. So I couldn't open anything.
Well, I can't see. I can't see me on the camera, but
okay.
It's start cam, but
Okay.
I don't understand why it's giving me a cell phone with a bar across it. I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, I can. I can hear you perfect.
I'm not signed into YouTube or anything like that external of this app.
Okay,
So
that's okay. Yeah, we'll
I
get you.
really don't understand why the camera's not working, because this is an X360. Everything should be working perfectly
Yeah.
fine. My browser states that it's
Okay.
set up to be able to access my camera.
Okay.
And I allowed it to. It says, I'm in
Okay.
the show. Everyone can see and hear you, but I cannot
Yeah.
see me, and I can't hear me either.
But you can hear me, right?
I can hear you through the
Okay.
speakers of my laptop, which is kind of odd because right
Okay.
now I'm supposed to be using Bluetooth with my headset, and I'm
Right.
not. Here
Yeah.
we go.
Okay.
Let's try this. Hang on.
Okay. So we got Sean. Sean, we got him in the studio, but as you can see, he can't. We can't see him, but we can hear him. So any help with the technology here, you guys in the chat, will be awesome. That why, yeah. Okay, Scuba said, did he change the sources for audio and video? That I don't know. Usually Sean's pretty computer smart, as the saying goes. I haven't when I signed up, when I did all this with Jade, when I did all with Jade, that was last summer, and I kind of forgot some of the details, but I know how to get people in the studio.
My mic is working. Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
I can hear you.
All right. I click on start camera, and for some odd reason, it's not bringing up my camera. I did not change my camera settings at all. The camera's internal on the laptop.
Let's see.
Basically, when I open my screen to look at my screen, it's looking directly at me at all times. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Can you see the chat?
No, I cannot see the chat. Well, the chat's in YouTube.
Okay.
So
we don't have YouTube.
Well, I gotta pull it.
Well,
up.
you know what, you may have to subscribe to the channel. I think subscribe to my channel. Maybe you can. Then
I am subscribed to your channel on YouTube.
Okay.
It's just on whatever this is, StreamYard or whatever it's called. With Zoom, it's you click it and boom, your camera comes up. But on this, not so much. I've tried Chrome. I've tried in Edge. I've tried in Firefox, and for some odd reason, it's wanting to fight me.
Yeah. Scuba said StreamYard lets you pick the camera to use.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's not pulling up any camera at all, and that's the problem. That's why I can't do anything with it, because I looked at my computer settings, I looked at my browser settings, I looked at my security settings, and everything's telling me that it's allowed, but it's not allowing me yet, and I've got to sign into my YouTube for some odd reason, and I don't know why.
Yeah. Scuba said subscribe. The subscribing doesn't mean nothing. Scuba says that's why I use Zoom. Last year I started out with Zoom, and it was between Zoom and YouTube, and it was a mess.
Well, there's something else that's a mess too, is that if you've got your phone on and you've got your computer tries to connect to your phone when you're not trying to be connected to your phone. That's probably part of the problem, is trying to use my camera from my phone or something, because of something dealing with something else. Who really knows?
Okay. Well, I can hear you. A little bit of feedback because I can kind of hear me.
Well, probably because you're coming through my speakers on my laptop, which generally. Okay. Here, can you hear this?
No. What am I hearing? I can't.
Okay. What about this? Hear anything there?
It's a little crackling. Yeah.
Okay, that was from my headphones.
Oh.
I'm not getting the audio through my headphones from my laptop on this app. I don't know why, because I have the audio set for Bluetooth, just like I would in Zoom. I would have audio, and the microphone would be working just like in Zoom through the headset. I don't really understand why it's not.
Yeah, that's odd because normally normally people get out. I send the invite, and then sometimes because some of them do them like right from their phone, and I had a gal that did it. One day she did it from her laptop, and the next time she did it from her phone. So Scuba says he had the same issue. It's because StreamYard is web-based and sometimes don't see the camera. So whatever that means.
Yeah, it's a StreamYard issue. It most definitely is.
It's okay. They said we're glad that that they can hear you.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad I cannot hear them.
Oh, I know. Well, see, I'm reading.
I got a voice for radio. Come on, folks.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. We're just glad. We're glad you're here. Welcome everybody to Paramount USA. This is Lindy's Treehouse. I'm glad that you all that you're all here tonight. You all climbed up in the treehouse, and you know why I came up with the treehouse, Lindy's Treehouse, is when you're growing up, everybody would hang out in the treehouse, and all the friends would get together in the treehouse and talk and tell stories and everything, and everybody would go home feeling really happy because they saw their friends and everything. So that is what I try to do on my Thursday night shows. It's just all of us getting together on Thankful Thursday and just talking about different things. I always try to inspire people. We do different subjects, like I pick out one word and then I dissect it, and then I get on with all my chatters and we talk about, what that word means to them and everything. So it's fun. So every week we change it up. But I'm really happy that you're here, Sean. Welcome.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
Everybody's so excited to have you on tonight. And
I'm excited to hear and see from everyone once I'm able to sign into my Google and all that crap. Because evidently, when you download a browser and then do stuff, you've got to go through even more crap just to be able to get into your own junk.
Well, Jade's going to she'll be in the chat shortly, so she might be able to walk you through it, figure it out too, because I messed with her because she's the one that originally got me all signed up on this because I didn't have a clue how to work StreamYard or anything. And then of course Scuba, I picked his brain for a while, and it's a lot. It's a lot trying to figure everything out. So So real quick, I always kind of open the show with some fun. Well, I got some fun facts going here, and I like to read. I like to open the show with my little things out of my book. Little quotes out of my book. So I'm going to read real quick, and then we're going to get on with the show because it's not about me. It's about you, Sean.
Oh, yay.
You are the guest. And I'm
a guest.
I really missed you because remember in the after show with paragliding talk, we all hung out on the after show, and it was always so much fun. So
it always was. We've always had a good time,
Yeah. And I thought it would be so fun, be fun to have you on my show. I just
now it seems that my camera is working. It says it, but it's not showing me anything. I got black screen on my camera. I don't understand that.
What's this? No, that's the microphone. I'm just looking. Solo layout. No. Okay. John Wayne says he's going to fly for Gage and then going to Appleton, Wisconsin for his grandson's weightlifting championship. He holds 3 national records, going for a 4th lifting class record. That's awesome.
Nice. Don't give
Wow.
yourself a hernia, John Wayne, because you know we know you love to fly, and I enjoy watching your videos. As a matter of fact, whenever I see them pop up in my feed, I click the like button before I even watch it, just to
Yeah.
make sure that it's liked. You know,
Yes.
you took the
Exactly.
time to share it with us, so you know I definitely appreciate it. Aha! I think I figured it out. Hang on a second here.
Okay.
Aha!
Oh.
Yeah, that's technology for you, folks.
Yay!
All right.
Sean is
Now,
in the house, everybody. Welcome, Sean. Oh my
thank you.
God. My neighbor downstairs is probably not going to be too happy with me tonight.
You know what?
I
She
can't
can
be
get
yelling
over
too
it. You
loud.
know, send
But
her a picture of me, and I'm sure she'll forget all
you
about
look
it.
great.
Why?
I
Thank you.
oh I'm so
Thank
psyched.
you. I
I know
feel
I'm
great. You
psycho.
know,
I
you
know.
like this youthful glow I got going on. You know,
Yes,
the
yes. I
lighting,
missed
it's
your
ambient. You know,
honestly, I missed your face. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think anybody's really seen my face because of all the dreads that I have. Ooh,
Yeah. You look
you're a
great.
little, little more responsible look. You know,
Oh my gosh.
it's
I'm
time for a
so
change up a little bit. You know,
oh my gosh.
I rocked the
You're the
dreads for
lazy boy
12.
chair there. You're not in
Yeah.
that background like on Robert's show, like you always said you're
Well, you know,
you're in the
had the camera worked for me before in the pre-show, I would have had my background, but you know,
this is cool.
only the best for Linda's Treehouse, you know.
Well, I told Robert to stop by in the chat, so he said he would.
Oh, great! I'm going to have a
So,
razzer.
I know, I know. Bill
Uh,
Fly was trying to be funny. He said, "Tell Sean he has to remove the lens cap
yeah,
on
that's
the
cute.
camera."
There's no lens cap on my camera because it's on the flat screen, buddy. But
Everybody say hi to Sean.
it's good to
Oh
see
my
everybody
gosh.
in here that has watched the show paraglidingtalk.com with me and Robert,
Yeah,
and I really appreciate Robert for having me on board with that because
we had so much fun. We had so
yeah,
we had
it was a great show. We had a great camaraderie of people, followers, people that would
yep,
support the show and
yep,
be a part of it, and
yep.
it was an awesome experience to be it was an awesome experience to be allowed in as a moderator. But
Oh
at the
yeah.
time, I was very, very, very young in my flight and flying. I was in like my first year actually of flying,
Mm-hmm.
and as far as ground handling and such, I mean, I did so much of it beginning. That's really where it all began. Really, was just ground handle. Do nothing but
Yeah.
ground handle. Make it as uncomfortable as possible, and do it some more. And then find some other position that makes you uncomfortable and control that
Yep.
wing in that uncomfortable position. It forces you to learn from the glider, and it's a language, and I refer to it as the aha moment. Everybody gets that aha moment at a different time,
Yep. So
depending on
what
who they
what
talk to.
what let's go back and okay, so you got what how did you get the name Calamity Kite? And maybe just go back to how that all let all our chatters and all the
Yeah,
listeners
Calamity
welcome,
Kite Clinic. Okay, well, first I got to let you know it's kind of a Debbie Downer, but I had to close the site. There just wasn't enough money in it to be able to pay for the site for the so many years. I think it's 3 years. You have
Yeah.
to pay so much money, and really, there's just not enough clientele that's solid to be able to afford that kind of expense. But I am still teaching people if they're willing and wanting to learn. I still have Facebook. I redid another Facebook because my last one got hacked.
Right.
Um, so I did reset up my personal Facebook. I have not had a chance to set up Calamity Kite Clinics yet,
Okay.
but people know me by name, so they know,
Yeah.
at least the people that have been around.
I like that
Um,
name though. I like that name.
the
Um
reason why I went with Calamity Kite Clinic, and let me get to your question there because
okay.
I'm pulling a Donald Trump. You see, and isn't it beautiful? It's so beautiful. It's going to
Oh
be
Lord.
pristine. It's going to be beautiful. Just absolutely beautiful, folks. Absolutely tremendously beautiful. It's so beautiful. I can't even talk about how beautiful it is, but it's beautiful to their eyes too.
Oh my God.
Um,
Oh my God.
Calamity Kite Clinic. The reason why I came up with that name was I was a leather crafter in the past, and the man that I learned leather crafting from he went by Mad Mac. All right. Well, I went with Angry Adams Leathercraft, and from that I got to thinking, I'm going to do this ground handling stuff, and I'm going to get real serious about it. And really, with the amount of time and the amount of focus that I put into getting ground handling down to where I can confidently keep a wing up. Don't even look at it at all. I can keep my eyes closed. As a matter of fact, Scott Julius was playing around with me at my first competition, and I had my eyes closed. I was ground handling, and Scott Julius was behind me trying to block the wind with his glider, thinking that he was going to knock me out of the air, knock the glider out of the sky. It never happened. It got to the point where he started smacking me with his wing a little bit, and I thought he was putting a paper bag over my head, to prove that I wasn't looking. No, that was just him messing with me, and I was moving the glider around so much that he couldn't keep up and actually smacked me with his glider, and the rest was kind of history. But I went with Calamity Kite Clinic because when you start out, it's absolute calamity. And I've seen it from pilots, from people that actually fly. I've seen it from people that are brand new. I've seen it from people that have never touched a glider in their entire life. And some of those guys that say, yeah, I've got a little bit of skills. And I'm saying, all right, bust out. Let me see what you got. I'll just watch you clip in. And I'll watch. And about the time they pull the wing up, I've got them assessed and pegged on where they're at and how long they've spent under the wing and where they're struggling, where they need a little bit of help. Okay, well, they're doing really good here. They're doing really bad. I bet you if I got them working on this, that will improve. Let's see, I'll give them a little bit of advice. Say, give this a shot. Try this. If they go with it, awesome. If they don't, okay, they need some time to think about it. Let them wear themselves out. And unfortunately, that is the best teacher, is wearing yourself out, because it forces you to stop doing what you want it to do and for you to actually do it. There's a big difference there, So I went with Calamity Kite Clinic because when you start, it's calamity, absolute chaos in the sky. And then you have the Kite Clinic, where you learn about kiting, which is completely different than ground handling. Ground handling and kiting is two different things in my book. And maybe it's because of the way I analyze it and the way that I see it. I think that has a lot to do with it. First off, with kiting, using the fishhook method, you're playing with the individual lines. It's fun time. That means, technically, not necessarily, the gloves are off. That means have fun. Your mindset is fun. Make it fun. Because if you make it fun, you'll learn more. Then there's ground handling. Ground handling is I'm not messing around. I've got my hands in the brake handles, and I got the brake handles in my hands, and I'm going to use it just like I would if I was flying.
Yeah.
That is ground handling. That is serious. That is 100% mental mind game. You're in the bar. You have your motor on your back. Guess what? You're getting ready to ground handle just like you would without the motor on your back. Now, are you going to be as serious about it? Absolutely. You know why? Because you're flying.
Because you got a motor on your back. Yeah, Scuba said red plaid and green plaid. He said my eyes are like, what the heck? And
believe it or not, this is a blanket,
And I'm trying to catch on. And then Bill said, I used to throw a water bottle all over the field while kiting and kite to the bottle. Hi, Munchkin. Yeah. Welcome, Munchkin.
And that's a good technique too. Something that I found that was very beneficial was set up an obstacle course, and you make it up in your mind. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Get you a piece of string, long piece of tow, boat line, and just run it in all different kinds of configurations. Follow that line. Do not deviate off of it. Or better yet, make you a big circle. All right. when it goes all the way around you. You stand in the middle of that circle. Limit yourself. I can only go to the edge of that circle. Goal is to stay in the circle at all times. That's a good one. Limiting yourself to only so many steps. So that means you pull the glider up. I'm only going to allow myself 10 steps forward, 10 steps backward, 10 steps to the right, and 10 steps to the left. And you count your steps. You count them. If you do that, that's going to help you out a lot because you're going to learn where you're struggling.
John Wayne said I've never been good at ground handling. So not everybody. It's not for everybody then, right?
You know, I've met John Wayne, and he's an awesome guy to hang out with if lions and stuff and such. And I seriously hope to hang out with him again at other fly-ins. And I would have absolutely no problems or quandaries with helping him with that. There are times where I've been to fly-ins and I just go out there and do my thing, give people high fives, joke, shake their hand, talk with them, go to the lee side of everything, and just absolute crap wind and keep the glider up. And it's fun to me. But John has seen it firsthand, and at any time, if he had any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them for him, or at least give him a bit of a foundation to work with that would help with a lot of. I basically think of it like this, okay? It's all perception, and I am a lazy man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm lazy. I am. I'm incredibly lazy. And the less steps you can make or take and keep that glider up, the better off you're going to be. The hardest thing is to sit still and keep that wing up.
Yeah.
If the wind lightens up, guess what? You're allowed 1 or 2 steps forward. Don't make it more than that. Pick the right glider for the right wind conditions. That's a big one. You get you something that's a single skin, you take it out in light air. I mean light air. So light that any other glider that you take out, yeah, you'd be able to pull it up if you go backwards, but it'll come right back down as soon as you slow down or stop. Conditions like that, you take those single skins out, play with it, get on with it. The handling's a little different because it's a little bit more sensitive. Single skin, it's more sensitive. You're going to feel more on the lines. It's going to be much more responsive. It's not going to be like insanely responsive, but single skin to double skin, much lighter conditions. It's going to handle just like an actual full size glider in good wind. If the wind is a medium, say 0 to, I don't want to say 0. We'll say 6 to 9 miles per hour. You can take you out a double skin, full size glider, and up to 23, 24 meters even. I've done that with a 24 meter Mojo, and that is an ENA wing. And I was keeping it out there in winds that were 6 mile per hour. 5 mile per hour, I could keep it up. Yeah, I'd have to move a little bit because, well, you got to hair in order for it to stay up.
Yeah.
But it's possible. There is a difference between ground handling and kiting on flat ground as opposed to a slope.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's exactly the same techniques that you would use, but the difference is on the slope, the wind's going to blow upwards. It's going to follow that slope in an upwards pattern. So it's going to have much more lift. So the wind conditions on a flat field, it could be blowing, let's say, 10 miles per hour. All right. So 10 miles per hour, boom, no big deal, right? Just coming straight. You got your thing, you're doing your thing, no big thing. Woo.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You go on a slope and you do that, and it's going to want to pull you up that slope. And it's at least 13, 14 mile per hour
Wow.
because it makes that much of a difference.
Yeah,
And
Bill said that was fun years ago, but now it's 65, only for a short time. So
well,
maybe
see,
ground
here's the
handling.
thing, Bill. Okay, be the lazy man. All right, that's what I do. Yeah, I get so much attention from ground handling and kiting. It's not even funny, but I do it because I can. Um, and what I mean by that is I'll find an area where I will be seen. I'll find an open field that's no harm to anybody, and everybody can kind of tell that I've got some experience under a wing because of the way that I just flip it around, do whatever I want, and
Yep.
I know where it's going. I can put it exactly where I want it every time I want it. I entertain myself by pulling the wing up, sitting on my rear, and letting it drag me. And I do this thing called a snail trail, where I'll go down and then I'll bring it back, and then I'll go down and then I'll bring it back. And I'll just let the wing drag me all along the ground the whole way. I'll be waving my arm, cars be driving by, hey,
Robert was playing with the wing at the flying circus. He sent
Yeah.
me a video, and he was messing around with the wing
Yeah.
at flying circus. And he did actually. He went flying a few times, which I was like, I was impressed. I'm like, look at you, and he loves it. I remember
I had a lot of fun.
he wouldn't have anything to do with paramoting, and so yeah, he got up in the air a few times, and so at flying circus. So I was like,
Yeah.
it's cool.
I had a lot of fun at the flying circus. As a matter of fact, when the year that I went, nobody was really ground handling. Nobody was kiting or anything. The winds were really that crappy.
Yeah.
But I had mine out, and I had it out the whole time. And it had the likes of Josh Bowden pulling on a few of the lines trying to get me off game. And he's like, you're probably one of 5 people that knew exactly how to correct that without even looking at it. And I mean, instant. He's like, man, that's you. You got some sick skills, man. You know.
You do. Yeah. Make sure if you got any questions, my peeps, my chatters, thank you for being here tonight. Put it in the chat. Put those questions in the chat, and I can just throw them out at SHAWN. So if there's any questions you guys got, please put them in there. Any comments, whatever you want to do. This is fun.
I actually thought I actually thought about it, and it's still in the back of my head. Maybe perhaps it's the approach of how I was running Calamity Kite Clinic with the site and things like that. I'm really good at ground handling and kiting. I'm really good at teaching it. I've had people that have never touched a glider, seen a glider, nothing, within 20 minutes having the glider up in the air and holding it above them and keeping it there long enough for me to get a photo, which is pretty outstanding.
We'll fly. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not ignoring anybody. Will Fly said, did you ask my question or did I miss it? I'm not sure which one was it about the camera? And John Wayne says, SHAWN, are you still flying a single skin? And then Bill H wants to know, are you going to any fly-ins? Okay.
Who was the first question there? Did you ask my question or did I miss it? That was Will Fly. Will Fly, I didn't catch your question because you said tell SHAWN he has to remove his lens cap off the camera.
Oh yeah, you can see the chat. Good.
Yeah, I can see the chat. I'm actually reading it right now.
Oh, good. Okay.
But I don't see a question that Will Fly asked other than about the camera lens. So sorry, Will Fly, go ahead and type the question again.
He said
Bill H asked his question. Okay.
I'm glad you can see the chat.
Am I going to fly-ins? I plan on attending fly-ins. With the job that I've got, I work for the state now. I can't go into a lot of detail about it.
Yeah.
But it's not an easy job.
SHAWN. Good for you.
Yeah, it's not an easy job. It's kind of a career thing. To get a job at the state, you work at the state for a while, you can transfer to a different state job and actually make a lot better money and do a lot better yourself,
Good for you. Good for you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You
No,
know,
I'm always happy for people that, you know, are succeeding in life as saying goes, or just like you know, you find your happy place, or just your place in life, you know. And
I
I'm
wouldn't say
always
it's my
happy
happy
for people
place
that,
because it's really
well, you know
not,
what I mean.
but it's, you know, it's just a step forward.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and a lot of times when I was growing up, it's hard to get a state job, is what I was always told. And
Yeah.
it's always easier to go from state job to state job than it is to just get a state job.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's kind of my perception on that. But um, it, with the job that I have, it takes me a year before I can really do what I should be allowed to do, which is take a week off to be able to do some flying at fly-ins, you know?
Oh, sure.
So that's what I'm working on right now. I've got another 3 months to go, and then I'll be at my year, and I'll
Yay.
be able to take a vacation and
More freedom.
you know,
Good. Yeah.
flying.
Tony Marzano's in the house. What's up, Mr. Vegas? Welcome, welcome.
As far as the question of am I still flying a single skin? Yes, I do. I still fly my Viking. I also fly a Luna 2, a beautiful wing. It's a 20 meter, and it does me very well. I've got the tip steering tied in, which is really, really, really nice. And I pretty much stick with just those two wings to fly with. The other wing that I have is for ground handling, and I literally ground handled it so much that it is not safe to fly anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, the
Yeah.
trimmers don't even stay locked. I mean, you can pull them all the way in, and you have the glider up, and then 5 minutes later, you've got one side loosened up, and the other side still a little bit tight, but not much, you know?
Yeah.
So generally, I ground handle that with absolutely trim settings all the way out, and I'm no hands the whole time. Not very many people get to that point
No.
as soon as I did, but again, it boils down to time. You know, you pick your nose for long enough, you're going to get a booger. You know,
There you
that's
go.
kind of how it works.
There you go. No, that's let's see. Tony asked, did anyone ask about his kiting school?
You know, I had some interest, and I did. There were 7 people that I helped with their ground handling, and then after that, it's crickets. People, I think what a lot of the problem in the sport is that people are more focused on the flying aspect. Yeah, and it's no fault of anybody's really. People have limited time. People have limited money. I get it. Stuff ain't cheap. All right, gliders are not cheap. Motors are not cheap. Gear is not cheap. Harnesses definitely not cheap. But I think if you invest a little bit, and you were to invest a little bit more, you could go a lot further. And what I mean by that is a lot of people, oh yeah, how much is there really to do with ground handling? Well, get your glider out. Let me see what you got, and then I'll get a glider out. Hell, I'll even use your own glider, and I'll put it up. Yeah, I'll show you. You know,
but you got to get to know your own glider and get comfortable with it, not use somebody else's glider and then give it back to them, because then you're not learning nothing, right? You got to have your own.
Well, it's interchangeable with it. Really, it boils down to experience under a wing. I could get underneath a wing that I've never ever touched and be able to ground handle it like that. And yes, it will be a little bit wonky at first, just kind of feeling how much is too much, how much is not enough, what the pressure's like, what the glider is telling me at once. And those are all, how do I say this? I want to say superficial, but that's not the word. It all boils down to personal preference. And some people like just a little bit and it really turns. Some people like a little bit more and then it starts to turn. Some people like it, hammer it all the way down to your hips and then it turns, you know?
Okay.
It depends on your skill level. It depends on your glider. It depends on where you're at in the sport. I think a lot of people, they spend just enough time to be able to get a glider up, to be able to get a glider up for long enough to be able to launch, but not long enough to really know that glider, to know that you have it up, it ain't going nowhere. You check your lines, everything looks good. You just take a couple steps forward, and you know, I think maybe perhaps my approach has been wrong, maybe it's my fault, maybe it's not. You know, maybe it's no fault of my own at all. Maybe it's just my approach to it, because it's something that's so new, and it's not. I don't want to say that it's so new to the area of North America, but it kind of is. Andre Bandera has done an exceptional job out there. I believe it's in Portugal where he's at.
Okay.
I learned a lot from watching him. I learned a lot because he does ground handling retreats out there. I have not been to one of his retreats, but I see eye to eye with him as far as competency and skill, that I would have an absolute blast with him, just making a day out of it. Let's go have some fun, you know?
Yeah.
But over here, it's a lot different. And what I had picked up from the way that I visualize, it's all in perception of the mind. Instead of thinking of it like kiting, ground handling, and playing with your wing,
Yeah.
think of dancing with your partner. Think about this. You go out dancing with your partner. Did you grab her by the arms and jerk her really hard? Why would you do that with your glider?
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Will Fox,
harder you
Andre
pull.
is awesome. And Tony wants to know, is ground handling important if you just fly a trike? Good
I
question.
think ground handling is important even if you fly a trike.
Good question.
Absolutely. I think ground handling, and really, there is ground handling you can do with the trike, and you'll be able to keep those skills current. You know, that's the thing. Keep the skills current. Even if you fly a trike, I think it's a good idea to ground handle, because you're learning more about not only the wing, but you're learning more about the aspects of controlling that wing, putting it where you want it, how you want it, and telling it enough's enough, come back on up, baby, and it'll come right back up. You know, like I said, it's like a dance. There's a finesse to it.
Yeah.
How you doing, Jade?
JD in the house. Yay. Hello, my lovely JD. I miss you, girl.
As a matter of fact, you know, Jade was one of the people that I said, you know what, you want to work on something? I'll got a little bit here, and you know, let me see what you got, what you're struggling with here, and I'm not trying to you know, run you over on the bus there, Jade, but you know, I'm glad that you listened, and that you were able to get what I call the aha moment. Aha! You can see it in their eyes, and they'll pick the glider up, and they'll keep it up, and then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna go sit down, smoke a cigar. I'm gonna watch this show, you know, because they got the aha moment, and I know they got the aha moment because I ain't said a word in 10 minutes, and they're still going.
Jade said, "I'm glad." Jade said, "I'm glad you taught me."
Yeah. I'm glad that you know, she actually took what she had took what I had said, and she followed through with it. And I know, contrary to her belief in the back of her mind, she's going, he's freaking crazy. There's no way this is going to work. And then it was like, ding, it worked. And she's like, ho, 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 ho. He was right. And then, yeah, after that, and you know, that's the thing. When you get that aha moment, it snaps and it clicks and it makes sense. You know?
Did you see what she said in the chat? You look at the
back of your legs, yeah, that day, yep.
She said, "Yep, that moment was awesome, and I fried the back of my legs that day as I kept flying." So I like to I read the chat too, because the people that are just listening, you know,
Yeah.
what they say, what they say. But that's
And
cool.
that's the thing.
That is
When you make it
cool.
when you make it fun, and that's the trick. You know, I saw what, and it's not just Jade, okay? This is everybody I've worked with. I always see something, and it may not be their worst thing. It may
Mm-hmm.
not be the worst problem to have, but I'm able to see it, and I go, you know, something that'll help you with this. Well, why don't you do this? Because I noticed you do this. Try this. They give it a shot. Hey, why don't you try that thing I was telling you? And then boom, it happens. And hey, you know, this is making sense, and this is fun. You know, there was a couple people that I had worked with. Let's see, Steve and Karen, good people, two awesome people.
Yep.
I enjoyed their company at fly-ins, and I enjoyed their company in the clinic. They
They are,
came
they are
they came
awesome.
to experience they came
Yeah.
to experience some Calamity Kite Clinic.
Steve and
And
Karen up, right? Up.
yep,
Yeah.
yep,
Yeah. I met them
yep,
at Torch, not last year, but the year before.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. They're
and
outstanding
she,
folks.
oh my gosh, I love her. Both of them.
And you know, it was a pleasure working with her and Steve,
Yeah.
and you know, getting them accustomed to, because a lot of people don't realize uh, there is much more to it than what has been approached. And
Yes.
it's an intimate thing, and no words can really express it. It's like a language in and of itself. And when you start to realize that it's a dance and there are steps, and if you learn those steps, that dance becomes a lot easier. And I got to boil down to three
That
steps.
I like
A
that.
whole three steps. There's three steps, and you're doing one of those three steps the entire time you're ground handling or kiting.
Yeah. Tony said kiting is hard, and I'm not liking it. Just saying.
Well, here's the thing, Tony. Um, a lot of times we make it harder than what it really is, and that's the reason why I try to hammer this approach in, like ting
Yeah.
ting ting. See, what I'm thinking is, maybe with Calamity Kite Clinic, I went about it the wrong way for the way the industry is.
Yes.
I think maybe it might be more beneficial for me to go to actual schools
Yeah.
and put on not maybe a demonstration, or do a seminar where I'm talking about ground handling. I'm talking about the different aspects and the different things you can encounter and how to fix it.
Yeah.
The approach and in understanding fun time and go time, because those are two different times. Fun time is I'm going to learn something and I'm going to play so I learn something. All right, that's making it fun. And if you make it fun, you're going to learn every time you pull it out. You're going to learn something. It doesn't matter how minuscule it is. That's
Yeah.
skill bucket, not luck bucket, skill bucket, skill bucket every day, skill bucket, you know. But I think maybe it was my approach with Calamity Kite Clinic on trying to get people to, number one, it's hard to get five different pilots or five
Yeah.
different people that are into the sport that live in the same area or can travel to a certain area, and that's it. You have one kite clinic which is 4 hours long, and you pay for the 4 hours, and then after that gives you a foundation and things to work on outside of the clinic.
Practice,
And
practice,
that's
practice.
exactly it doesn't end. It does not end at just one kite clinic. All right, you go to a kite clinic to learn some of the things you need to work on, and you work on them outside of the
Yeah.
clinic. You work on those skills and everything that was assessed, and things will ding. So, sometimes I say inappropriate things. I say them for a reason, so you remember it, because there will be a time where you have that glider out, and guess what? Bear shits in the woods and stomps in it. Oh, I said that, because that's what you do when you go to launch. Bear craps in the woods. What's he do? Straightens his back up. Well, guess what? You're launching. Bear craps in the woods. Straighten that back up. Stomps in it. Stomp your feet. Give the power. Stomp your feet. You're not running. The motor's pushing you. you're just stomping your feet. You're stomping in the crap. You're getting off the ground, you know? It's things like that. It sticks in your head, you know? And there was
it's
there
a
was
lot harder.
plan.
Like foot launching, I mean, it's a lot harder than it looks. You know, I watch
Yeah.
people, they make it look so easy, but I know I would not
Well,
be good at it. My little legs.
well, a lot of it
I'm more
is
like
that
just jump,
people
take those
don't take
tandem.
their time with it. A lot of times people pull that glider up, they just go. And they go so fast that you can't really assess what is going on there because there's so much happening so quick, and even they might not even know.
Ah,
A lot of the fly-ins that I've been to, I've seen a lot of craziness where people have pulled that wing up. They have absolutely no idea how to control that wing at all. They're just going off of luck. They pull it up, they give it throttle, and off they go. You know, which is great. All right, don't get me wrong. A successful launch is a good launch. A
yeah,
safe launch is a good launch. But being intentional about it is an even better launch. And it shows your proficiency and skill, you
yeah.
know.
That's
There was go ahead.
Tony said that Sean, your look has changed now. You kind of look like an old Travis Pastrana.
I have no idea who that is, but I'm sure he's
Who's
incredibly
Travis
gorgeous.
Pastrana? Yeah, I don't know
You
who
know,
that is.
he's probably an underwear model. Don't worry about it, Linda.
Uh,
Well,
love you, Tony.
I think it may be perhaps the approach with Calamity Kite Clinic. Maybe perhaps I should do seminars instead, where I could actually make enough money to be able to afford to keep a website up for more clientele to come, or for classes. People that
Sure.
are joining a class for something, they sign up for an extra class, which would be, you know, a seminar,
Yeah.
spending 4 hours, and really 4 hours is a long time, but it's just a drop bucket. And
I
I'm
think
not
it'd
discussing
be cool.
4 hours with people on what to do. I'm
Yeah.
spending 1 hour on explaining the dance steps, hand gestures, hip movements, and then get your glider out. Let's have some fun. And then it's hands-on approach from that moment on.
I
And
think you'd be an awesome teacher. I think you should.
I would hope so.
I think you should get back into it. You know, get back into that training because number one, you love people and you love the sport, and
Yeah.
that makes a big difference. You know, you can relate to people because you've been there, and you know, the flying and all that, and you have to have patience, which I think you do. So I think you'd be, you know, I think you'd be really, yeah, I think it'd be really good. Hi,
I
Angela.
would
Angela,
I would
Angela.
like to get into instruction for flight instruction as well. And I
Yeah,
think that I could benefit and other people could benefit from that as well.
yeah.
I haven't I'm a P nothing. Okay. I've been flying for 7 years. I'm a P nothing. I'm a peon. Woo,
No,
peon.
you're cool. Like Jade said, Sean, you should do a few classes after a short seminar at Fly-ins and try to do a few people together if there is enough room.
Yes.
There you go.
I had
There you go.
I considered groups up to 5 people, and any more than 5, then it gets you can't individualize it for the. Everybody is at a different skill level, and this guy that's been flying for 4 years might be only at the skill level of where this guy has only had a glider for 2 months ever.
Yep.
You know, and not only that, but several. There are so many different kinds of people. There are people that are disabled, people that have struggles and issues that most don't, and
Yep.
you know, and that can affect how you need to approach it as well.
Yep.
You know, someone might be struggling with their left side because they had a stroke and they're recovering from it. Well, you have to kind of approach it a little bit differently and say, okay, well, what do you have motion of on your left side that you can that might be able to help you, and let them explain kind of, you know, okay, well, I can do this, but I can't do that. Okay, all right, well, that's a start. You know, we know what you can and what you cannot do, so let's work with what you can, and kind of progress it to where it'll work for you, you know, and get you to where you want to be.
Yeah, I was Googling some things because I always, you know, like the subject obviously is kiting. So I've been Googling the different what the meanings of kite, the kites and what they represent and all that stuff. And I found this one on the Google, and it says and I thought of you, in the dance of the kite and the wind, discover your own rhythm, let your dreams soar high like a kite on the brightest day. So I was like, that's cool. And then I found some other fun facts about kites. And it says kite is a visual metaphor for resilience, determination, and hope for a brighter future. Just as a kite rides against the wind, our true potential emerges from the challenges. The art of flying a kite is making the winds that push against it. So that's all, that stuff you already know. But I thought it was kind of, I call my fun facts that I found today.
Well, what's really interesting, Linda, is that you kind of hit it on the head a little bit. Okay, I came from the kiting world.
Yes.
Walter
Walter's in the house. Hi, Walter Sugar.
I was demoing kite wings, what I call kite wings, which were kites, at kite festivals. And I would demo what that specific kite could do and what it could not do, and show them what was possible with it before they bought it. So that way they could make an informed decision of, I want to be able to do this, this, and this. Will this kite do it? Well, let's see. Let's get it. We'll go get it, pull it out, line it up, pull it up, do what they said. Say, this isn't exactly set up for this, but you could do this, this, and this with it. That's really fun too, and then you show them and then they're like, I want that,
Yeah.
So, and I was a part of a kite team where we did pattern flying and cross the lines and everything and get them all spun up and unspin them without having them tangled up and everything.
Yeah.
And a lot of that background, it helped me.
Looks like Joe Adele has a question. He said, hi, Sean. What is your favorite ground handling wing? Do you prefer a smaller wing than you would normally fly for just ground handling? Welcome, Joe.
Good questions, Joe. First off, my favorite ground handling wing is the wing that is meant for the conditions.
I'll be right back, you guys.
It's all in conditions. For example, when you go to carve into some wood, you pick the right tool for that wood. Is it a hardwood? Well, you're going to need something really sharp. If it's, kind of punky softwood, you're going to use something like a saw on it. It ain't going to matter because it's soft, right? It's kind of like that. If the winds are light, pick you something that's going to stay in the air and you not have to work your butt off, sweating like a mule to keep it up. You don't want to be breathing heavy. You want this to be a comfortable experience for you. That's what I mean by I'm incredibly lazy. I'm really not. But when I kite and I ground handle, I'm intentionally lazy. The reason why is it forces me to have to learn what that glider's telling me. Because if that glider is telling me something and I'm not listening to it, I'm struggling. I'm breathing heavy. I'm sweating really hard. I'm going through water like crazy. That's not fun. Make it fun. That's the trick. Make it fun. Make it enjoyable. That's why I like being a lazy man. I'll sit on my butt, keep a glider up and lay on my back just because I can. And I'll lay there and I won't touch the brakes at all. I'll put my feet up on the brake lines and I'll control the glider from my feet because I can. I do it all the time. I've done it all the time. That's why I'm a bit different is because I've done it so much.
Yeah.
And I'm not the only person that can do that. I've seen other people do that as well, which is absolutely great. I think it's great for the sport. I've had more interactions with people kiting and ground handling wings than I have with the motor on my back ever, even at fly-ins. I've had more interactions with people that are like, what is that? If you're not in the sport, you don't know. They're that rare to see.
Yeah. Yep.
And you show people how easy it is. I mean, and it's not easy at all, but it really is when you break it down, like I can, kind of step by step. I can explain to them what's going on, why it's doing what it's doing, and how to change it. And when you change it, this is what it looks like. This is what it does. You
Yeah.
know, it's a very educational, and uh, it inspires communication, which I think is very important for this sport.
Yeah. Tony says he says I have problems untangling the wing, and it's frustrating.
Untangling the wing. Okay.
Good questions. Thank you. Thank you, Chad.
Untangling the wing. Okay, I'm trying to think on what he means by that. Is he meaning when he wraps his glider up and puts it in the bag and pulls it out of the bag, then it's all tangled up? Or is he talking about when he pulls the wing up, he's getting cravats and he's trying to get the cravat out, which is somewhat of a struggle sometimes, but really stabilo line, or just give a thump on the brake a little bit, just here and there, not anything, hammer it down and hold it. No, you're tapping and letting off, kind of allowing it to flutter a bit. But the stabilo line on the very edge of the wing will actually correct those.
Tony said he said all the above.
Okay, yeah. Tony, I would say just come see me. I mean, really, say, show me what you're talking about, and then I go, ha ha, this is what you're doing. A lot of times I found that people have a tendency to rely on those A's entirely too much. They pull them, or they jerk them, or they hold on to them too long. And really, if you have the right glider for the right condition, you really don't need to use those A's that much. I'm talking just take your fingers, slide it under the A's, and just go like that. Just a little bit, an inch. Just give a little inch. You don't even have to pull it. You use your hips. Your hips are going to bring that glider up with authority. You don't want to be using your arms ever. You use your hips. Throw your butt into it. Get mad at it.
Angela
you know
said,
what I'm talking about? Use that booty, man.
Angela said, "Nice to see you again, Sean." And then Tony said, "Can you see in the chat? He has some serious problems. It's going so fast here." And then just want to fly. She's talking to Walter. Prayers to Eric.
Yeah, I've been praying for Eric and keeping him in my prayers. And keeping Jake in my prayers too.
Yes.
Excellent, folks. I've had a tremendous time at several fly-ins with Jade and Eric. And really, we all have a great time because it's a small community. And that's one of the things that I really enjoy is the community and the camaraderie of the community. We had the same kind of experience in the kiting world. This is what's very interesting to me.
Okay.
When I was into the kiting, back when I first started, when you say, yeah, I fly kites, people were thinking one string and you're just pulling on it and that's it. And it's got a tail and it's made out of a garbage bag and sticks.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do have those still, but they have two line kites. They have 4-line kites. They've got kites that actually you hook into a harness and you actually do wakeboarding or beach.
Now, I've seen that. I've seen that.
Yes, and that's where it's like a sport. But the competition has gotten so bad in the kiting community that it's really fractured because the science and technology finally caught up with the kiting world. All right, that's what's going on with the paragliding world right now. Except, paragliding people are much more down to earth. They're much more friendly with each other and outgoing with each other with information.
Yeah, Scuba says I always sling my booty into. You can see it on the chat because it's going kind of fast.
Get the wing up. Yes. And really, it's not slinging. It's back that junk up. You back that junk up, that glider is going to come up, and it's going to have authority, and it's going to be solid. You're going to feel it. You want to have when you pull the glider up, or even when you're forward. And when you're doing a forward exercise or even in reverse, makes no difference. You want the even tension on all the lines
Yeah.
from both of your hips. You want even tension. If it's not even tension, your glider is going to go one way or the other way. If the wind, there's something else that people don't think about. All right.
It's VR flying.
Think of it kind of like, let's see here. I can do this with my hands. All right. You see that shape that I'm making right there? This is where the person is. Down here where my thumbs are, that's where the glider is. All right. This area right here is the wind window. If that wind window shifts this way and you still got your glider this way, guess what? That glider is going to go this way. If it changes the other direction, it's going to go that way. So it's kind of like, think of it like a pie, a piece of pie. All right.
Yeah.
You got the pie like that, and you got the arc, right?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Piece of pie. All right. Piece of pie. This is your wind window right here. All right. Let's see here. If I can technology, right? Yeah. All right. This is your wind window. If the wind's blowing straight at my face, that's my wind window. As long as my glider is in between the direction of where my hands are, golden, baby. All right. If the wind shifts, that glider is designed to glide. What is its job? To fly, to stay in the air, right? That's what all these glider manufacturers are saying. This glider wants to fly. Hell yeah, it does, because you designed it that way. The idea is, like I said, it's all in the way you think. All right. Instead of being a puppeteer, try being a puppet. Let the glider tell you what to do. You're not forcing the glider. The glider's telling you what it wants. So guess what? Just like a dance partner, give her what she wants. She'll be happy. And if she's happy, she's not being mean. And when she gets mean, nobody likes her because she drags you around and it hurts really bad. Just like a dance partner. You know?
See, what was I going to say? Will had something in the chat that I was supposed to ask, something about VR.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There's your,
There are VR simulators.
Will wants to know. Yeah.
There are VR simulators that are really, really good. As a matter of fact,
VR, what is that?
The virtual reality.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Ron Turan has an outstanding flight simulator.
Ron's awesome.
That he's worked really, really hard on, and I had the pleasure of enjoying myself, checking it out. Very, very, very good. There are other flight simulators that are out there, and I'm really not the guy that is like, don't buy this product, buy this product, And I'm not going to trash talk about this person's efforts and what they've put in and this person's better than this person. I'm just speaking from my own personal experiences. And I like Ron Turan's app and device. Very, very, very cool. And he put a lot of effort into this thing to where it's literally like you are flying like you are. There's one that I do use with my MetaQuest 2, and it's called Glider Sim. And it's I think it's like 20 if they do charge for it. I think it's like $20 at most. It is very, very. It's not super realistic. You're not going to have the experiences what you do with Turans, where you feel the wind. You're not feeling the G forces, but you're feeling everything like you would in a harness. All right. With the MetaQuest 2, basically you look, you lean, you pull, you're turning. You just lean, you're turning. Same concepts. It's the same thing, just a little bit different. Instead of feeling those lines like you would with Ron, with I want to say Ron's setup, because they are kind of like a setup of their own kind, each one.
Scuba says, I haven't tried lately. I got Glider Sim back in beta. I'm sure there are improvements. I'm just trying to, I don't know if that's
okay. He got Glider Sim back in its beta form. Yes, they have updated it. And not only have they updated it, but they've done an exceptional job. I talked to the actual developer of it in an online session, a multiplayer. Uh, You can get and set up a room and have other people join that room, talk over the radio, and fly together in the same air.
Oh, wow.
And not only that, but I was having a conversation with the developer of it, and I was explaining to him, man, you know, you did a great job on this. I was like, but the thing that drives me absolutely batshit crazy, and sorry for the cussing, folks, if you got kids at home, I'm a sailor.
That's okay. That's all right.
I said, you know, I would really love to do some acro. And he's like, you know, I've been working on that. I'm like, you have, huh? Can you do stalls? And he's like, yeah, you can do stall. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah. I'm like, all right, watch this. Busted out a stall, came out of stall, went into backfly. I'm like, yeah, you even got a backfly, dude. This is awesome. Doing helicos and everything in this app.
Will Fly said $5 in the swear jar.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. Hey, you know what? As a matter of fact, I believe I heard Will say that he would pay it.
I miss those days with Rob. Yeah, with Robert. Yeah, that's another thing too. That's why everybody kept asking me after Robert's stuff. You know, who's going to do Thursdays? And then I talked to my daughter-in-law, and she's like, "You could do that. You could do it." And I'm like, "No way, not me." You know. And then here I am going on my 41st. You know, number.
You know, and I feel really bad that I feel really bad that I don't know the name of Ron's app.
Maybe they know.
For the life of me, I can't remember the name of the app, and I can't remember the whole setup that what he called the rig. I
can
called
look it up on my phone real quick.
Yeah. Well, you probably end up watching a video with the explanations of what it is, because he I believe he did in the past have a video about it a little bit, just a little tease, you know. But one way or the other, he did a fabulous job on it.
Thank you, Angela. She said she loves having a paramotor guest. But yeah, I have to change it up, you know, and I'm having a really good time with this, and I love getting guests on here. And then the weeks, look at Robert, you know, sometimes he have guests, sometimes he wouldn't. You just, you know, figure it out, and it's work. I mean, now I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to be, and it's good for me because it keeps my mind busy and everything. And the day before the show, I've got all my notebooks and all my little stuff, you know, because everybody has their thing, and I'm just having fun with it. I've had so many people, you know, reach out to help me. JD, and then I had, you know, Scuba help me in the early days or whatever, and God bless them, because I couldn't have done it without them, because you got to have that, you know, extra or whatever, because I didn't have a clue seriously what I was doing. But I'm just glad you're here tonight. I'm just having a blast with this, and that's why I always tell my peeps and everything, I do this for you guys, and I look at it's not a competition. I do my thing. We follow each other's shows, and I've always been a believer in that. You know, I've always been following everybody and just supporting everybody, and that's why I gravitate to everybody. You know, people that fly and everything, because they have such a passion for life, you know, in itself, and so you guys inspire me, and then this is my way of giving back to you guys on Thursdays. That's what the show's about. Thankful Thursday. So
yeah.
Yes. So anyway, Sean, this is you guys got any some more questions in the chat? Yeah, I got that this past summer I got a surprise and I'll have to bring it out from Susan Ray. I got the Friendship Award, the Milstead Friendship Award.
Yeah.
Let me grab it. I'll show it to you. It's beautiful.
All right. Yeah, go grab a sandwich for everybody.
This past summer.
Yeah. Now, Tony had a question. Can you kite with tip steering? Yes, you can.
I cried. I
bet you did. I bet you did. Tony, to answer your question, yes, you can kite with tip steering. It just depends on how much brake you're trying to give and what you're trying to do and what the winds are doing. Okay, look at that. That's beautiful. You can see that's absolutely beautiful.
it's glass, heavy glass.
Well, yeah, I can see
And then
that.
it just says Aurora PPG 2024 Milstead Friendship Award, Lindy Anderson. I just love it. I felt like I got an Academy Award, you know. And for people that haven't seen this, yes, thank you, Susan Ray from Aurora PPG. I love you so much. And
Yeah,
I did have this on Facebook the other day. I took another picture of it, and she gave me a really, really nice compliment. And yeah, so
now, okay.
that's how I do what I do.
Now, just to let you guys know, yes,
Okay.
I did. Yes, I did cut my hair, and it actually has been a long while ago. As a matter of fact, 9 months ago, I cut it. All right.
Hi, John. John said he's got to leave now.
That's how long my hair is
Love you,
now.
John.
You know, I look like a normal person. You know. And have a good night, John. Be safe out there, buddy.
Yep. Take care of
Yes,
you.
I did cut my hair, and the reason is because it's time for a change. I had my dreads for 12 and a half years, and I had help for 9 years of the 12 and a half years that I had them. Unfortunately, my fiance had passed, and I didn't have any help anymore, so it was just me doing all the maintenance. And that's a lot of work to do this with tools in a mirror by yourself and seeing back here.
I can do it.
You know. It will wear your fingertips will literally go numb after a while, and it's not a fun experience. So I got tired. I got tired of taking a shower, washing myself. Everything is good. Within like 5-10 minutes, I was clean. But it takes me another 90 minutes just to be able to dry my hair, to separate it, to palm roll it, and then to fix the loose ends or the loose hairs that have come out of the dread. And that's just entirely too. I'm not feminine. I'm a man. I don't want to spend 90 minutes on my hair. Hell, I don't spend 90 minutes on anything else.
I'm contemplating maybe this summer cutting my hair.
Don't do that. That's the biggest mistake that older women do, because they try to look younger, so they cut their hair shorter. But what they don't realize is it makes them look even older, because now
that's what I think too.
Yes.
I just need a good. I haven't had my hair place over a year or so, because
well, you can pull it back and put it into a nice bun or one of those things, you know, where it goes up and then it goes down, and then it goes up and it goes down again. You know.
Yeah, I put it in like during the day. I'll put it like, you know, in a ponytail off the side of my head,
like a braid or something.
Keep it out when I'm cooking. You know, keep it out of my face when I'm cooking and stuff and all that. But speaking of cooking, my son bought me, Ryan got me an air fryer for Christmas. Yeah, I don't, you know me, I don't cook, but he got me an air fryer.
Cook? Oh,
he got me an air fryer for Christmas.
Yeah, those are nice. I love my air fryer.
I love it. I cooked like a pizza, a frozen French bread pizza in it. And
you know, you should try you some Totino's pizza rolls in it.
Oh yeah, he puts I eat those at my son's. Yeah, he likes, so he puts those in there. He told me I want to get some of like the mushrooms, those, you know, those mushrooms. You can buy them in the freezer or whatever, stuffed mushrooms, something like that. And Scuba says, just when you think Friday was the start of my vacation, nope, still have to work Monday. Oh, poor Scooby-Doo. I don't have to worry about that. Yeah, I love it. And then I have a George Foreman girl.
Yep, those are nice too.
That Ryan gave me. And yeah, I'm not spoiled at all. You know, Christmas time, it was like, I felt like a little kid, you know.
You know, something that was
blessed. I'm so blessed.
Something that was really something that gives me joy the most.
I'm going to message Robert, see where he's at.
Of all of my experiences with teaching ground handling and kiting, there have been times where I've been at fly-ins, and some of the people that I have worked with have overcame a challenge that I know immediately.
Yes.
The moment that they came to me, they were not able to control that wing like that. But
That's cool.
After working on those experiences that I shared with them,
Yes.
seeing them launch and run across an obstacle, the wind changing direction, and then changing direction again, and then changing direction again. And the fact that the student could keep up with it, keep up with the changes, could feel the changes and anticipate the changes, and did a flawless takeoff. And me to be able to see that, it was like, I didn't do it, but I know I had a part in that because before they could not. They would have given up the second the wind changed direction, or they would have ended up turtling or scraping their bottom or something, busting a prop, anything. Nobody's perfect and flawless. I've busted 4 props and failed launches from one reason or another. There was one time where the Velcro had actually given loose on my paramotor on the cage and hit the prop and busted the prop just as I was taking off the ground. And
that must make that. I bet that sound is just like, ew.
But
you just want to go.
But because of the experience that I had under a wing and ground handling, I was able to sit on my ass, lean forward, even though the prop was still spinning and busted in a million pieces, but I still kept that glider above my head and kited it down in front of me so it'd be safe and not get chopped up. The lines chopped up. There was no damage to the glider at all. But it's because of the skills that I acquired from ground handling and kiting that made that ability possible. Because guess what? There's times where I'll run forward, and if it's just enough wind to kind of pick you up a little bit, sit down on your butt. Get off the ground, sit on your butt. Practice.
Yeah, that's what Robert was doing at Flying Circus when him and the boys, they're messing with the wing. Yeah, that's what he was doing.
That's where
lifted him up. Yeah.
That's where the fun is because you're learning. Okay, I can handle up to this much wind, and this much I won't even take it out because guess what? I learned my lesson the last time. You know my threshold on an 18-meter wing, 17 miles an hour. The only reason why I say it's 17 is because 17 miles an hour will pick me up off the ground even if I'm putting my butt in the ground and pinching with my butt cheeks on the grass. It's still picking me up off the ground. But I'm a lightweight dude. But that's the thing. You want to pick appropriate conditions. Do not go out there when the wind is hucking and chucking. You want to be out there when the wind is blowing, where the flag, everybody knows this, normal flag, average, everyday American flag, when the flag is moving, all right?
Right.
That's good. All right? When it's moving and then it stops, it's moving and it stops, you have to be patient with it. Now, if the flag is moving sideways and it's not flipping like crazy, but it's just moving sideways just enough to keep itself up, butter. Get the glider out. Have fun.
Night, Tony. Night, Mr. Vegas. Thanks for stopping by.
Have a good one, Tony. Thanks for stopping by, bud.
Appreciate you. Oh, I often wondered, like when looking at the, what do we say it was, the
windsock or the flag.
The windsock. The winds. You were saying interesting. The windsock.
There are things. I don't even bother taking a windsock out when I ground handle or kite. I do this intentionally. I wouldn't suggest everybody do it.
Robert said he said he can tell, like sometimes he could tell like which way, like the birds.
Yes. You can tell by the birds. You can tell by the trees. You can tell by
what the
you can tell by the grass. You can tell by the clouds. You can tell by a lot, but it takes experience and it takes time to develop that experience. And that's the thing. Robert has those skills because he's acquired those skills in time and effort and practice, muscle memory. Me and Robert are both guilty. We'll drive down the road. We'll see a buzzard flying. We'll be paying more attention to that buzzard than the road. We can't help it. ADHD, whatever you want to blame it on. Yeah, we both got it. It's fine. We're used to it. We're watching the road, but really that bird's up there. Oh, he's turning back around. Okay, he just found a thermal over there. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to turn left here. Well, I won't be able to see the bird. Maybe in the mirror. Oh yeah, he's still there. You know? Yeah.
Interesting, because even with the windsock, you said if it just kind of
All right,
lax
Walter.
and lazy, that's when you want to fly, right? Not when
Well,
it's
when you want to take your wing
down.
out to do some ground handling and kiting,
Oh,
what I suggest people do is everybody's skill level is a little bit different, and I don't want to tell people the way that I did it because,
bye,
quite
Walter.
frankly,
Have a good day.
it was
Walter's
probably the wrong way. Yeah, have a good night, Walter.
well. He's there's actually tomorrow now,
Yeah, I
so
know he's in
yeah,
Australia. Yes,
yeah. So
yeah.
he's gonna go do his chores, and that's so weird, huh? It's
He
all
was a good follower of the show and a good supporter too.
love you, Walter.
Yeah, we all love you, Walter. Hopefully you're doing well,
Yes,
buddy.
yes.
Um, eh, what I don't want to tell people to do what I did because what I did was a little bit different due to my background with flying RC airplanes, doing kiting, and I mean being big into the kite world where I was demoing kites and I was doing like beach buggying and things like that with kites, with traction foil kites
Okay.
and various flex foil kites. Um, I would say generally, if it's blowing more than you could fly in, you can ground handle to a certain threshold. You don't want to go past it. When it's too much, it's not fun when it's too much. And you need to know how to kill that glider as fast as possible and keep it on the ground to keep it from dragging you or pulling you or giving you rope burn from the
Yeah.
lines or getting plucked and really getting hurt.
Isn't that
Um,
crazy how you can get up in the air and think you're up there and you think, man, this is great. It's butter air. And all of a sudden, boom, it changes just like that.
well, I do have footage of a time where I was really testing my skills to see how far was too far. I had a 25-meter wing that I had out, and literally on flat ground. I actually showed Robert this video. It had plucked me up off the ground, and I was going up, and the wind had changed direction in a convergence and decided to blow me backwards into the side and then blow me forwards and then drag me on the ground. And you could literally see my legs flipping up in the air and smacking down on the ground and everything. I mean, it was brutal. It was brutal.
Yeah.
But that was a learning experience and I gained a lot of knowledge from that because that was a 17-mile-an-hour gust. That was a 25-meter wing. Yeah, that's absolutely stupid for a
Yeah.
person that weighs 155 pounds to take a 25-meter wing out and gust like that. But I wanted to see what my threshold was, how far. So I know when I'm not taking it out now. It's too much. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I pay attention to that flag, the flags in any given area around the area where I'm planning on ground handling or kiting. Usually there's a flag in that field
Yeah.
or a flag in that parking lot, or a flag across from the field, or several flags around that field that I can watch those flags and know
Oh, yeah. I
how
never
much
thought
wind
of
is going
that.
on. Well, again, it's all perception of the mind. It's all in how you think. If you train yourself to think differently, you will, and it will start to flow like water. And that's what you want, you know?
I never thought about. Yeah, everybody has their flags out by wherever they launch from, by their RVs or whatnot, right?
Mhm.
I never thought about they're not, because they're all in different spots, right? So the wind's going to hit each flag. See, I'm learning a lot here
A
too.
little bit differently. And not only that, but you're
I
learning
never
about
thought of it.
rotor, you're learning about wind shear, you're learning about what obstacles there are and what's causing the effect that you're viewing and seeing from this field to that field, why there's a
Uh-oh.
difference in direction from the flags,
Yes.
why one's
Yes.
pointing this way and one's pointing that way.
Yeah.
It's a skill thing, and you start to pick it up once you realize how much there is around you. Learning from your environment is a very important thing as well. Out here in Ohio, it's mostly farm, mostly not all everywhere because there is city,
Yeah.
but
Right.
where the farmland is, watch the crops, watch the wheat, watch the grass and the weeds, what they're doing, watch how they're moving. That'll tell you which direction the wind's blowing from and what direction it's constantly blowing from, or if it's blowing constantly and then gusting in a different way.
Yeah.
It tells you a lot about your environment, and that's always a good thing too, is learning from the environment and learning from the glider. It's a language, it really is, and
Sure.
people don't pick up on it until they have that aha moment. And you see the bulb light up, and once the bulb lights up, it's like, my job is done. I'm gonna see
There
here
you
stuff
go.
I got, and
That's with a lot of things, like maybe same thing like starting your job, starting a new job, and you got to learn, all the steps or whatever in that job, and then maybe there's something, and look at I working at Home Depot 30 some years, right? There were some things where they would throw at me, let's try this, and sometimes it's crazy with anything. You get that mind block or whatever, and you just can't get past that certain thing, and then one day, like you said, one day you're on there, and I'm doing my thing on the computer or on the register, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, I get it now. It may
yeah, it just clicks.
a
It
whole
makes
day
sense.
or weeks or whatever, but yeah, and that's very true, and it's exciting when even look at. I had to learn a lot just doing all this live stream, and when I figure it out, I'm like, oh yeah, that's okay. That's how you do it, and that's cool. Yeah, I learned a lot tonight. I hope my chatters make sure y'all hit like.
And there's a lot more for you to learn, Linda. I didn't give you everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's so simple. I've got it broken down to three dance moves. You do those three dance moves. Show me that you got those three dance moves down efficiently and proficiently enough to where I would dance with you.
Yeah.
Get the glider out and do it. And it starts to click. It really does. And I mean, I boiled it down to solid foundation work. You can't break it down any simpler than that. But it does boil down to three dance steps or moves. And you do those three dance steps and moves, and you get proficient with them. And there's no real stopping you other than the conditions. And as long as you're making wise decisions with the conditions, you're going to be all right. You pick a good field, plenty of room. You pick you a good glider for the conditions. And have fun. Bring fluids with you.
Yeah.
I always had a camel pack. And it was a bag that you put on your back, and you fill it up, the bladder up, and you got the little hose thingy that you can, and I'd sip on my coffee while I was ground handling. As a matter of fact, my first competition, I had a camel pack on the whole time, the entire week of flying in Calamity. I enjoyed myself the entire time because one, I never got thirsty. Number two, I didn't have to stop what I was doing, put the glider down, and then get me a drink. I had the tube. I just do my thing.
Yeah. I'm hoping to give go to Torchport again this year. I don't know if I'll go back up in the air or not, but I tell you what, like I said, 2022, and I went up in the air, and I had that on Facebook today. It totally changed my life. It brought, it got me totally out of my comfort zone, and got me up, just getting up in the air, something that I never thought I would do years ago, right? And I always put it out there you know, when I was doing Sean's show and everybody kept talking about getting up in the air and what it felt like. And, you know, I decided, why not? I want to know what this is all about. And that's why when I got up there, then I understood. And the feelings and everything, you saw the videos when I landed, I was crying, I was laughing, everybody was laughing, everybody was crying, you know, it was so freaking emotional. It's something I'll never ever forget. I just want to say Eric and Jade, you know, they, like I said, because of them, you know, it changed my life. And then I was like, heck, I might as well go back. And then the following year, right, I went back up in the air again at Torch, and I got even braver. So then on the way down, you know, I'm like, let's do touch and goes and fly, you know, let's do a flyby, and it was so much fun. And then, you know, then when I went up last year again, then Keith and Kat took me up. Kat took me up, and yeah, it's just the adrenaline. The hardest part for me is sitting around all day waiting till, you know, towards evening to go up. And I was so antsy all day, you know, the whole day or whatever, just waiting. And once I got up in the air, I felt like a little hummingbird up there, because we were just kind of hovering over the trees and stuff. And you saw the videos on Facebook. And yeah, I mean, once you go up, you just yeah, Joe Odell said you have to go to Torch. I met him at Torch last year. And that was fun. We had I met a lot of cool people there. You know, that never met in person, right? So that's what it is. You should try and come out, Sean.
Well, you know, again, I've got a few more months to go before I can start to take a vacation, and I plan well, because, quite frankly, to be honest with you, finances are not fun.
I did say Hoover. I say Hoover. I said, because it's hovering. Is it hovering or hoovering?
I don't know.
When I said I was, you know, like a hummingbird, I always say it wrong. I just say
that's hovering.
See, hovering. I said hoovering.
Yes. Yeah, hoovering. No, that's hovering.
I said, did you say hoovering again? Yes, Scuba. Okay, you guys have to understand the chat. I have my own language. You know,
Linda's got Lindanese. And what that means is that at any moment, Linda is caught up into reading something or changing the topic or the entire subject, because the Lindaese kicks in and says, "Oh, is it? Do you say that ever again?"
I'm Squirrel.
Yeah, she is definitely Squirrel. Absolutely.
But you guys love me. You guys love me. Robert said he had to work late. Maybe he'll get.
That's the excuse I would have gone with too.
Oh my gosh!
I had to work.
Well, I had to get.
Well, here's the thing. I would definitely. I would like to make more appearances and things like that. It's just I have to get the funds together for that.
Sure.
You know,
I get it.
It's one thing to pay for the fly-in, but it's another thing to pay for the trip to the fly-in, and all the food for the fly-in, and all the gas for the fly-in, and the fly-in, and then, you know, whatever may happen on your way back home, you know, and still have everything done for when you get back, that you can just start working, not have to worry about getting everything straightened back out and straightened back up and put away and everything. It's sometimes that can be a bit overwhelming.
You have to really plan it. Well, that's like, you know, my daughter-in-law is the one that'll, you know, will get me out if I want to go,
right?
Just to hang out or whatever. We'll go, you know, go out there. But wouldn't that be cool because my birthday is May 11th, so I'll be turning 70 in a few months. What the heck? I don't even know where that. I tell people,
you blink, don't blink.
Comes like, don't blink. Just like that. Yeah.
Yep. And the older you get, the faster time goes too.
I don't feel like, some days I feel like I'm, you know, getting 70. Everything changes, but other than that, you know, I'm me, and I'm. So what? I'm 1 year older. Oh, did we lose Sean? You still there?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. So Yeah, so just, what's 1 year older? So I thought maybe, yeah, I should get to torch this year. I don't know if I'll go up in the air or not. We'll see. We'll see.
Well,
Maybe.
like I said, I do have intentions of going to other fly-ins and
Yeah.
participating in them. It's just a
Yeah.
matter of being able to have the time off of work, number one. Number two, getting paid for it at the same time. And number three, having the funds to do such. And that's the thing.
Yes.
I was running myself pretty thin trying to run Calamity Kite Clinic and work full time and bounce back and forth, back and forth, back and
Yes.
forth, and expel money on doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot to keep up with just one person living off of one income and doing
Sure.
everything themselves.
I totally get it. Yep.
I'd be considered, and that's the thing. I don't think I'm the best ground handler in North America or anything like that, but a lot of people have a perception of me because they've seen what I can do. They've seen me do what I do. And I would say I'm one of the better, if not best, ground handlers in North America from just the time that I've spent under a wing and in doing, what I'm passionate about. I get just as much fun and excitement out of kiting and ground handling as I do flying. And I don't even have to have a motor on. And I feel like I'm flying because I am. It's the same on the ground as it is in the air. If you can fix it on the ground before that glider touches the ground, guess what? You just saved your ass, because it's the same thing in the air.
That's interesting. Yeah. Hi, Scott. Scotty's in the house. I call him Mr. French Fry. What's up, French Fry? He said because there was a meeting. He was late.
Well, that's all right. They've got a replay function.
Yep.
He gets to enjoy it all, and that's the thing with it streaming that makes it nice. You can always rewatch it.
That's right. That's right.
The things that I've shared, hopefully some of these little insights and little snippets that I've been throwing out there sticks with some of you and kind of encourages you to think and analyze it in a different way. And like I said, don't be the puppeteer, be the puppet. The glider is the puppeteer. The glider is designed to fly in air. Your job is to tell it where that air is coming from. If you do that, you got it.
So it's called the glide. You call it. So it's a wing, or is it a glider, or could people just call the wing?
A glider is a wing. A wing is a glider. Yeah, it's all the same thing.
Okay.
The wing, the glider, your partner, the gorilla that you're dancing with. I refer to it as a gorilla. I refer to it as a gorilla because you pull on it hard, it's going to pull you even harder. The harder you pull, the harder it's going to pull. And you don't want to play tug of war with a gorilla. You definitely don't want to piss it off by stepping on its toes either. You got to treat it with that kind of respect. It's no different than a motorcycle. Don't go out there and buy a Ducati and expect that you're going to top out all the way on the freeway, never ridden a motorcycle in your life. It's not going to happen. And if it does happen,
interesting,
it probably ain't going to be good.
That's a good concept. Yeah.
And just because you can do something does not mean that you should. And that's another thing too. Is you have to know your limitations. And then stick to that, Pick yourself a threshold. Say, I'll take it out during this, up to this. But after this, I won't do it. I'll go in a simulator and do simulation flying. Or, I'll do something else with my time that helps me to develop some of those hand-eye coordination skills and the muscle skills. Yeah. And then when the weather is suitable, I'll go do that,
So you don't have so have you ever done the trike yet, or no? Or do you have a trike?
Well, no, I don't have a trike. I have a lot of experience doing kite buggying, which is the same concept as a trike. You're controlling the buggy with your feet, and you're controlling the kite like you would with your glider, except instead of it pulling you, it's actually lifting you. It's kind of the same concepts, just a little different because one is a kite. It's designed to pull you. The other one's meant to lift you.
Yeah.
But it is a lot of the same concepts with the foot steering of the device that you're sitting in, with the trike or buggy, depending on what sport you're talking about. But it's the same, exact same concept.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I always felt, I don't know, just the adrenaline, everything up there. Once you get in that, get in the seat and they get you harnessed up and everything. It's a feeling that you can't explain until you actually do it. That you get up in the air. That's why I try and tell people. Everybody has a different perspective of it when they go up, right? Either you love it or you hate it.
Well, yeah.
And I thought even just flying a torch, it's flying over those trees and everything. It was so pretty, so beautiful. But
yeah, well, and that's the thing with the more experience, the butterflies go away. It's no different than a relationship. All right. Yeah, you got the butterflies in the stomach. Everybody's so in love. And then, 9 years down the road, then it's like, yeah, I love you, whatever. You give me some chips,
yeah,
It's not like you're being mean. You're not trying to be mean to each other. It's just the butterflies have kind of gone away. Yeah, you still get the butterflies every now and then, a little bit of squish, pinch the cheeks, kind of thing. But the butterflies kind of ease up a bit. And it's the same thing with flying, and same thing with ground handling and kiting too. But that's where you have to get creative, make obstacles, make challenges for yourself, make it uncomfortable, make it so uncomfortable that you're like, I'd never ground handle like this, I'd never kite like this, but do it and keep it under control.
Yeah.
See where you're at, because there'll be points and times where you may be in that position where you're uncomfortable. And if you've done it before, you can do it again and again and again.
Okay.
And it makes it more comfortable. Each and every time you're in that happenstance position, you know what you need to do because you've done it before. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. It's muscle memory. It's understanding that special language that I refer to it as a language because it is.
Yeah.
And it's an unspoken word kind of thing. It's kind of like karma. That's a language in and of itself. Karma.
Scuba put a comment in there if you want to see it, and then I'll read
it. You let Munchkin kite a wing in so decent wind. She learned how fast it can pick you up off the ground. Well, yes. Yeah, and that's the thing. Don't underestimate the wind. Like I said, pick the right glider for the right condition, because the last thing you want to do is be taking a glider out and it's too big for your weight class. You're light on it. The wind's really hucking and chucking out there. You think, I got this. You pull the glider up and you're having a blast. And the next thing you know, you're being dragged backwards up in the air off the ground. And it's no fun anymore because guess what? Now you have to run backwards. And who likes doing that?
Yeah.
Especially when you're facing this way and you're going backwards that way. That's not fun. It's not a fun experience. And, there's times where they say hands up, hands up. Well, you can hands up all you want, but if the wind's hucking and chucking like that and you're going backwards, bub. It don't matter how far hands up you are. You're still going backwards. And guess what? It's going to drag you. If you don't know to put that glider on the edge of the window and get it out of that wind window so that way it's not flopping and fluttering all over the place,
Yeah.
That's part of making it uncomfortable so that way you can make it comfortable and keep it comfortable. Even if it is uncomfortable, it's a lot more comfortable than most folks have it,
Wow. Yeah, and I'm sure there's people that, let's see. I'm trying to think. how is it important for people to do SIVs?
Well, it depends. It depends on the type of flying you want to do. I mean, I'm not an acro guy by any means. I don't do acro. I just love to fly. I love to ground handle and I love to kite. I think it's in different places for different people for different reasons. If you're going to be getting into acro and things, yes, I think SIV could be very beneficial. I really do. There are concepts that you'll learn in SIV training that you won't get anywhere else. I think that's important for the progression, but I think people are more often in too much of a hurry. Think of it like this. It's not about the flying.
Okay.
It's not about the doing what you want, when you want, how you want it. It's about the journey. Because that journey is where you learn the most from. And the more time you take in that journey, the better off you're going to be as a pilot.
Interesting.
And it's because you have the time to absorb that knowledge and to grow from that knowledge. It makes absolutely no sense for somebody to be so damn book smart that they can read an entire manual on your truck, tell you how to dissect it and everything from the book.
Yeah.
But then you give them a wrench and say, do it. And they go, they didn't take the time to be able to do it. You know why? Because they were in a rush. They wanted to get there. Now they can't even use a wrench because they don't know how to hold the damn thing. You know, they could tell you how to change the oil, but they'll never be able to change the spark plug, or even to be able to turn the key to turn the mower on. You know, that's the thing. It's baby steps, and it's those steps. It's those steps where you're going to learn the most.
Yeah.
And it's each and every step. It's not, I'm going to run a mile next week, and I've never ran in my life. That ain't going to go well for anybody. But if you train, week after week, you go, I'm gonna run a quarter mile, and then I'm gonna walk the rest of the way, and then I'm gonna work up to half a mile, and then I'm gonna walk the rest of the way. You know, and you do it several weeks at a time, several months at a time, and then guess what? Here pretty soon, you're running an entire mile. You're not winded at all, and you're going, I like this. You know,
that's like this. In the summer, I do my walks. I walk to the bayfront, and I'll do like 5 miles. And I remember back in the day, I thought 3 miles was a lot, you know. And then I go walk around the college. I go out to the college track, the indoor track in the wintertime. And I remember going around like 3 miles and going, I'm doing really good. Well, as I'd go like 3 times a week, I'd get, and I know what you're saying though, I would get stronger. And pretty soon, I have my phone and I'd be like, I'm going to try and do 4 today. Mm-hmm. And so I'd go around and do 4. And one day, I went to the bayfront, left the bayfront, and walked because the college is right by my house. From the bayfront, I decided, well, it's such a good day, I'm going to go up to or vice versa, I'm going to go up to the college and walk. So that day, between walking to the college and then coming back home and everything, I got 7 miles in. And I remember I thought 3 miles was a lot. So I know you stamina, that's what it is. You build up your stamina. Yeah. I know when I start walking again to the bay, when the weather gets nicer, I may only do 4 miles that day because I have.
Well, see, it's the same thing as like what you're explaining is the same thing as when you're picking your glider for the wind conditions. You don't want a glider where you're going to be wearing your muscles down, wearing yourself out because you're fighting that glider because the wind's blowing hard enough to where you have to fight that glider just to keep control of it.
Yeah.
You know, so it goes back to one of the questions that was asked in the chat earlier. I do prefer smaller wings, but my idea of smaller is not like most of these wings that are out there, like the Seed.
Hmm.
Okay, yeah, the seed's cute. The seed's fun. It's small. Yeah, it's great. Okay, don't get me wrong. But I think it's much more important to use a wing that you would fly. The reason why, this is not just meant for ground handling. You can fly with it. You built those skills. You could take that wing out and fly it, as long as you're being responsible about ground handling it and kiting it. As long as you take care of it, it will take care of you. You know, um, with
Exactly.
with my size being what it is, I'm comfortable at an 18. I could probably have fun with a 16. That's the smallest I'm going to end up ever going anyway. Just personal preference. I
Yeah.
don't need to go 80 miles an hour in the air. And yes, it would be nice sometimes, especially if I'm taking a long XC or something like that. I want to
Right.
get there. My attention span is like that of a gnat. After about an hour, I'm kicking the treetops, the bean fields, and everything, going, "Look what I do!"
Yeah.
And at that point, it's like, okay, I need to get down from the ground. I need to drink some coffee, and I need to eat some food.
Yeah.
Because my attention span is depleting here. I'm noticing when I'm kicking things. Okay, evidently I've had a little bit too much of this for the moment, so I need to take a break for a minute.
That's me all day. Just doing
Yeah.
stuff between the computer, the TV, my phone, because everything, I'm all over the place. And sometimes I
Yeah.
just have to go, okay,
Yeah, I gotta breathe. I gotta
I
breathe
have
for
to
a minute.
breathe.
Yeah,
That's why my
yeah,
my kitty cat, cats are funny. They keep you on it, they like they don't forget. Like I'll play with her at a certain time in the morning. Then the next day I have to make sure I'm playing with her again at the same time and all that stuff. But anyway, speaking of time, it's almost 10 o'clock. And
yeah.
I know the dude downstairs, he gets up for work early and all that stuff. So I'm trying to be not drop anything on the floor or whatnot. But I really appreciate you being here tonight.
Well,
I
thanks for having me,
really
Linda.
enjoyed this, and you're welcome to come back anytime. Jump in the chat. I'm here every Thursday. Thankful Thursday,
Yeah,
Paramount USA, Lindy's Treehouse. All my listeners and my chatters and my viewers, be sure that make sure you subscribe, hit the like button, and yeah, watch for do the notification, and come back and see me. On Thursdays. I just this is what we do. We hang out, we chat, and I read something really quick out of my book. And I always, so people take something with them. I always have my little
I
books.
will be making Dave Purdon's this year. Will fly.
Okay.
The money was the issue this last year, and I had started my job, which once you start, you can't leave to
Right.
do a fly-in and then come back and expect to still have the job. So yes, I do plan on making Dave Purdon's this year. I'm not sure what date it is, but I'm sure I'll know about it a couple weeks ahead of time so I can put that in so that way I get paid for it, and
Very
that
cool.
should be a good time. It's in my state,
Yeah.
so hopefully I won't have too much of an excuse to not make it this year.
Yeah. No, this is great because everybody got to see you again and touch base with you. And,
Yeah, I
I
haven't gone anywhere. I'm still a pilot. I still fly. I haven't been posting up a lot of videos like crazy because, quite frankly, I found it much more beneficial to me to not record every single flight.
yeah.
And it's because sometimes it's important to focus on the pilot and the pilot's skills, and to keep those crafted. I think a lot of times, sometimes the camera and the editing process can get very overwhelming, and a lot
Yes.
of it absorbs. It just takes the fun out of it because now you got to find the music, then you got to cut the video, then you got to remember to start an intro, then you got to remember the medium filler piece and what
Yes.
you're saying, and you don't end up talking to yourself. You're talking to them, even though you ain't shit to say because you can't hear them. So now you don't know whether you're addressing what you've already addressed or you thought was a good idea to
Yep.
address, and
Yep.
then you forget to do the outro. And then guess what? Now you got another half hour, 45 minutes to do an outro on the road, pretending like you're doing what you did because the camera wasn't recording when you're on your way home. Know.
That's, I mean, doing all this is just enough,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they always like because I'm on the free plan with StreamYard, so
Mhm.
they're all in order to get all these little extra things, you got to pay for it. But
Mhm.
I'm happy with this. It's based, it's nothing fancy. I don't have no fancy free videos and all that because you got it, music because you have to worry about copyright and all that other
And
stuff.
that's another thing too, when you're doing a
I
lot of
love
videos,
this.
flight videos, you have to worry about that kind of crap.
Yeah.
I posted my videos up with music, and yeah, I got copyright dinged on it. I don't care.
Yeah.
I do it. I don't do it so that way I can make money from YouTube, because you're not going to make that much money off of YouTube. I'm telling
No.
you.
No.
The average person, unless you've got a really good knack and skill for marketing and media, you're not going to be that guy getting a billion clicks just because
Yeah.
you posted a
No.
video.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. I watch podcasts on the TV. My podcasts all day on the TV, and I see how they, they're from their living room doing their fancy wancy stuff, whatever. And I don't have all that, But then I look at, I'm not everybody, and I do my thing, and that's why I look at it's not a competition. We all follow each other's show. I learn from different people, their podcasts. I've learned a lot just watching the TV,
Mhm.
There was one day somebody was on there and they were talking about remember the Cheers, the movie Cheers. And so
The
I
movie
was sitting
Cheers
there.
or the show Cheers?
The I
The
forgot
TV
who.
show?
Huh?
TV show Cheers?
Yeah. Yeah. And they
Yeah,
were
yeah,
talking
it's a
about
TV
it
show.
or I don't know, some subject they were talking about. And so I was trying to figure out what I was going to talk about on my show the next day, because I'm brainstorming. What should I do? So I put it on. The title of the show was everybody you want to go where everybody knows your name. And so I kind of went off of that for the show. So you got to get, and I learned you have to, doing this show and everything every week, I have to be creative, and I always think of new things and to make people think, like I throw new words out there.
Well, hopefully I was able to help people think today,
Yes.
Linda.
Yes, and you help me think and everything. But I'm going to read this real quick, and then I'm going to let y'all go because, like I said, I put everything away, and I try to be fairly quiet because, like I said, the kid downstairs, he's like sleeping right below me. Saying goes, okay. So I found this in my book. It says many of us have roadmaps we envision for the courses we think our lives should take. It's important to get headed in the right direction, but don't get so caught up in the concerns over your destination that you forget to delight in the scenery of each new day. Remember that some of the secret joys of living are not found by rushing from point A to point B, but by inventing some imaginary letters along the way. So I always end the show with something out of my book that you all have something to take with you so you feel warm and fuzzy and all that because we have such a crazy
Here's something that's pretty wild. Show you how small of a world it really is. My boss, he told me, and now he lives a long distance from me and from where I work. He told me, and I was talking to him about paramotoring and what I did with the show and things like that, and he's like, "Oh yeah, out at my place, there's a guy that takes off out of the field from across my house. I love watching those guys. You'd really do that shit?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." I was like, "I bet you I probably know that pilot." "No way." I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Explain them to me." So he explained them to me, and I said, "Yeah, I know who that is." I said, "Next time you see him out there, take a picture of him. All right? I'll tell you whether I know him or not. I'll tell you his name. You just shout his name. I bet you he'll wave to you." So he's out there mowing his grass. "Hey, man, they're out there in the field." I was like, "Take a picture." Took a picture. I blew it up real good. I said, "Yep, that guy's named Jeff." I said, "Shout, 'Hey, Jeff,' like that and wave." He
Honey.
waves back. And it was, I had texted Jeff on Messenger and said, "Hey, man, you getting ready to fly?" He He was like, yeah, man, I'm about to go here in about 10 minutes. I'm like, yeah, I know. This you? He was like, yeah. I was like, I thought so. It's a small world, you
Yeah,
know?
it is. It is a small world. That's so cool. That's a cool story, Sean. But
Yeah.
like I said, you guys, thank you so much, Sean. I appreciate your time and everything.
Thank
So,
you for having me, Linda. And I appreciate your guest, your the chatters, and the
yeah,
people that watch the show. I watch your show often. A lot of times,
yeah,
because of my work schedule and things, sometimes I
yeah,
don't have enough time to watch it the same night or the same time. But I do
yeah.
watch it later,
Okay.
and I always like it. And
Yeah.
I'm subscribed. I appreciate you having me on as a guest, and I hope
Yes.
that I was an entertaining guest for you
Oh my
all.
gosh, yes.
You know.
You're part of our family. It's just so cool to see everybody, jump in the chat tonight and all my listeners and like I said, my viewers and everything that are just hanging out. I so appreciate every one of you. Like I said, I do the show for you guys and gals. And it's just a way of us getting together during the week and just seeing what everybody's up to and encouraging each other and all that. That's what it's about in the treehouse. So make sure y'all come back next Thursday, Thankful Thursday. Tomorrow night, Scuba Vapes. He's got his show on Friday nights, and we always have a really good time on Scuba Vape show. And then on Tuesday is Never Trust a Skinny Chef, Shane.
Mm-hmm.
So we love you, Shaney. We love you so much. And we've all been trying to be there for him and all that stuff. And he's doing good. They're going to have the fly for Gage. It's coming up real quick. And so I'm really excited for everybody's going to be able to be out there, be out there in Florida real soon.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Joe, for hanging with us. I appreciate all my chatters. You guys are awesome. Like I said, I had a really good time tonight, and I'm just this is what I do. So make sure you hit the like button and the notification. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. Just get on Paramount USA. You can find me and join Lindy's Treehouse every Thursday night, 8 o'clock EST time, Eastern Standard Time, and I will see you all next week. I'm going to, I can't think of anything else. I do have, I have a guest lined up in a couple weeks, but I'm keeping a secret because if I say what it is, then I'll jinx it. So you definitely will know soon enough. But yeah, I'm going to wait and see how. That's why I verified, made sure with you, Sean, that you were going to be on the show before I put it on Facebook and everything. So get all my ducks in a row because I'm kind of like I try and get my ducks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So that goes. But anyway, y'all have a great evening and great rest to your week. Don't forget to check out Scuba Vapes tomorrow night. We always have a good time in the chat, talking about everything and in between, as the saying goes. So I'm going to end the stream. Thank you so much, Sean. Get some rest. I know you got to work tomorrow and all that stuff. And I really appreciate you and you guys. Yeah, thanks for hanging with us, me and Sean and everybody in the chat. We had a good time. All your questions, everything. Yeah, love you guys. I always put my little heart there. Little heart. And I'll see ya when I see ya. Bye, Sean. Night.
See y'all.
Okay. And